quit your job, sell your car, buy you a van, move in the van, move somewhere like Los Angeles or New York, live in that van, don't work, and just work on your craft. Find you a place where you could eat, where you could take a shower, and just work on your craft. Well, my name is Eric Protein Moseley, and I started off doing documentaries by I was wanting to make a reality show for for the television networks, and somehow it just ended up I was in a homeless shelter with my daughter, and this young guy in New York, he was like telling me after I got my footage that I should, become like a social impact for the community instead of trying to turn my documentary into, trying to turn my my footage into a documentary. So what I did was I became a social impact documentary filmmaker. Got myself clean off of drugs because I was on drugs, traveling with my daughter all across the country. And basically, I just stumbled into becoming a homeless filmmaker.
Do you remember the trigger, the calling?
Well, the trigger of the calling of me becoming a documentary filmmaker was when I was in the Bronx, New York, with my daughter in the homeless shelter after we came from Los Angeles. I had a bunch of footage from downtown Los Angeles that no one had ever seen before. It was from Skid Row. And my mindset was to take that footage and turn it into a reality show so that I could, become famous in Hollywood. But when I got there to the shelter, there was a young guy there with his mother, and he saw the footage, and he was unhappy with the conditions that were in the building. And he called on for me to become a homeless advocate and take that footage and to, to show the public, how homeless were being treated across the country from LA to New York and things of that nature. And so from there, the impact that I got, he and I got together were, a lot of officials came out, they tore the building down. They, they made a lot of changes. A lot of people got housing because of that. And, I was bit by the bug. So it wasn't anything I wanted to do. It was just something I fell into.
Yeah, it's kind of it's like a commitment.
Yeah, it's like a commitment. It's like, I live to do this. It was a young woman called me on my birthday. She asked me what was I doing, and I told her, hey, look, I was editing and doing some filmmaking stuff like that. She was like, well, it's your birthday. And I said, well, hey, that's what I was born to do. So I have to do this. So even my birthdays, holidays, whatever, I'm still trying to do what I do best.
Yeah, that's the right thing to do, I think. Yeah, to be the very best version of yourself. That's great.
Thank you.
No worries. Have you been to the film school or not?
I've been to film school one day. I went to film school in San Francisco, California for one day. And the only thing I really learned about filmmaking was that day was about, I even forgot what I learned that day, but I'm not going to say that it wasn't for me, but I'm like from the school of hard knocks. So I'm going to go out there and learn it how I learned out on the streets, as far as how I learned how to survive on the streets. I take that same knowledge and, and I study things. And I'm not gonna say I'm a master filmmaker or whatever, but I'm not gonna say that people don't need to go to school to make film, but no, I haven't. And I just learned and I picked it up on my own, to answer your question.
Yeah, it's so just one day. You were like no, it's not for me. You were maybe, I don't know. It's like because maybe you weren't made for that. I don't know. You know what I mean?
I'll say that again. Say that again.
Sometimes film school are not for everyone. It's very I don't know. It's kind of they make you think in a certain way. Of film.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know what? The film school, it does help you to a certain degree, but what it does, what the word I'm trying to use is it turns you into the entertainment industry, and you start using those standards that the entertainment industry wants you to use. Not to say that you should go against the norm or things of that nature, but you still have to, go follow the norm, but you have to come up with your own creativity ways of, maneuvering around traffic and getting your film shown and, you know, making your name rise to the top. So to go to film school, I would say is good, but you have to learn yourself of things to do differently than what the entertainment industry has set as a standard.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah. Tell me about your last project. It was a documentary, and how did you get inspired?
For this last documentary,
I think the last one, yeah, is
oh,
the
for the homeless coronavirus outreach.
this one, yeah, this one, yeah.
Yeah, the homeless coronavirus outreach documentary. I got inspired by God. I was laying there in my bed, and God gave me the vision to, you know, go out to educate the homeless about the homeless, you know, that the coronavirus was going on because no one was doing it, and so that's where that came from.
And how did you prepare to do this project?
How did I what say that again? I'm sorry.
How did you prepare to do this
Well,
project?
I knew it was a calling from God, so the preparation was already made, and you know, when God has something set, you don't have to prepare for anything. All you have to do is just go walk in those shoes that He has set for you, and just don't try to tie the strings together and just walk like how He wants you to walk. So that's all I did was stepped in the shoes that He wanted me to do, and everything else was it's all history. And speaking of that documentary, the homeless coronavirus outreach, I had became one of the 25 unsung heroes for COVID-19 in the leading memoir service Story Terrorist. So that documentary took me a lot of places, which also I got a spin-off documentary called In Correspondence with Eric Protein Moseley from that documentary. And that documentary is airing now, like it aired in New York, Nashville, and by the time you show this, it would have aired probably in South Africa and a couple other places as well. But it's also airing in Palo Alto in Silicon Valley.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know, to show your film. That's good.
Yeah, it feels good to be able to, you know, finally after you work so hard and you finally be able to get that door open that, you know, that people don't say no to you as much as they did. It feels good.
Okay. The how was the experience on this set? Because you were on the streets, and you're filming homeless, right?
Yes.
And your how was the impact? How was the impact for you? You remember?
If anybody that knows my story, and for those who don't know my story, I grew up in the city of Detroit, and I became a single parent drug addict after being in gangs and dropping out of school and all that stuff. Um, and I became homeless with my daughter all across the country. So to answer your question, I'm like a homeless expert. So I dealing with homeless people all across the country and being able to communicate with them as far as physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever. You know, I'm like a professional at that. So when I go out and film them, what I do is just share with them my stories of being on drugs, uh, overdosing in front of my daughter, being in shelters and not having nowhere to go, sleeping under bridges and stuff like that. I share with them, you know, my 21 years of being on crack cocaine. And so that opens them up as to, you know, feel like, wow, that guy did all of that. I could share some of my most deepest emotional feelings with this guy. And I take those and I capture that and I show it to the world.
Yeah, you just answered the call of helping people. You know, that's I think that's the the basics. You know.
Yeah, it comes. And, you know, I was just looking at the film, the second episode that I have coming out. And I was like, you know, just watching my approach, how I approach and how I interview people. And I come to find out that each and every individual I use, I'm not gonna say a different tone of voice, but a different attitude with voice that I do with other people. You know, like how Walter Cronkite or somebody of a major news, you know, they go out, hi, I'm so-and-so, we're here on the corner. I don't use that approach. I go and I talk to the individuals in a conversation and I let them conversate and I let them use their slang and I let them talk how they want to talk, except for cussing. And so once they see that I'm using slang and using street language with them, you know, they feel more like, well, hey, this is somebody that knows what we've been through. And so that's the approach I use on the street.
Okay, yeah, no artificial way or no artificial way or no artificial, no, it's not fake.
No, it's not fake. It's not fake. And so like blocks from here, I just shot a video at City Hall. And so I walk up there with my iPhone, and it was a guy from a major news company. I'm not going to say what company. And he walks up to me and he says, "Hey, who are you?" And I said, "I'm Eric Protein Moseley." And I said, "Why don't you Google that name?" And he before he Googled the name, he said, "Well, you can't just be walking up here and I'm just filming people without, you can't be putting the cameras in people's faces." And so he Googled my name, and he wouldn't say anything else to me when I was all up in people's face. See, because their standard is they have to sit there with a tripod and film it. I'm all down on the ground with my iPhone, all up in people's mouths almost. And they didn't like it because of the strategy that I use. And so when the news came up, they just had the basic news of that event, but I had all of the video captured that the news couldn't get. And I had the raw footage, and it was like I turned it into a documentary, and that documentary is airing. And so, my strategy and my what I use is totally different from what they would call professional journalism.
Yeah. You have your own way to filmmaking.
Yes.
Okay. No, that's good. That's good. And how did you prepare about the camera and the video editing? Which camera?
All I do, I just I have, and to make it I just have an iPhone, and it's not even a 7, 8, 9, 10. It's actually an iPhone 6. And so what I do is I capture the footage and then I edit it right on this same phone. And so I'm not really going in there shooting for the perfect video. I'm not going in there shooting for the perfect sound. I'm going in there to give the story to the certain people. And may I say this too? Because a lot of people make films and get off into the industry or whatever, and they don't know their audience. See, my audience is not looking for lights, camera. They're looking for action. And so with all these extra shots and the lighting has to be right, like how this truck is passing by right here. Like in my documentaries, a person would be like, "Wow, that was real. I wouldn't cut that." And it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's only true. It's no fake at all. So you can mistake people like this.
Yeah. And I wanted to finish talking about that as far as knowing your audience. And see, so my audience are individuals who aren't looking for the high class sound, action, camera and lighting and things of that nature. Because like when I was a little kid and I used to watch war documentaries, I always thought like, well, who's filming it? These guys are really taking a chance on their lives. So you're not going to be like saying like, "Oh, well, the camera had mud on it and it was turned sideways." No, this guy is taking a chance on his life and doing something that you wouldn't do. And so that's the same thing I want people to feel like when I come out on the streets and I film these homeless individuals. I don't know these people 9 times out of 10. So I'm taking a chance on my life, just as if a cameraman that went into Vietnam. So respect that footage and don't be looking for the perfect Hollywood camera lights and action, because I can give you that too as well. But you're not going to get that in Skid Row Journey Production. You're going to get raw footage, compelling stories that you wouldn't normally see on your favorite broadcast.
Okay, that's good. Did you use the music, some tunes maybe for... maybe.
I'm glad you said that, because I want to give a shout out to, I'm not going to even talk about the last documentary because they didn't even appreciate me putting them on, but this new documentary with Tommy Sagdow, he's got the end song on In Correspondence with Eric Protein Moseley, This Old Guitar, that's the name of it, and Black Ice and E. Lois, their brother and sister. They made the beat, and Black Ice did the rap. And then I also did the hook on the song. So yeah, we got 2 real strong, compelling songs that, even the song is tight. And that one's called On My Way to the White House. And so yes, I got Tommy Sagdow. I got myself as a rapper, singer on there, got E. Lois, and I got Black Ice. These are all 2 of them are from America, and one is Tommy Sagdow. I don't want to get his country wrong, but I'm just going to say from overseas.
Okay. And how did you use the sound? How did you to capture the sound?
Oh, you mean sound as far as the sound on the iPhone?
Of course.
What I do? You
Yeah.
know what I do for sound is I use, like what I'm doing right now is straight off the iPhone. I'm not using any boom. I'm not using any lavaliers or anything like that, because like I'm saying, I know my audience and I know what they're looking for. And once you know your audience, they're not looking for that.
Mm.
And so I don't give them any more than what they're looking for. And then here's another thing: the type of subject that I film, the least amount of equipment that you have is the better subject you can get, because you come in with these big cameras and they see wires hanging from them and clips and all this stuff. They get intimidated by that. So when I just slide right in with an iPhone, they're not knowing that this is about to be, they're not knowing that they're about to be on television worldwide. So they're going to open up. But these cats come in with these big, oh, I just paid $5,000 for this red camera or this other camera. And you're not going to get the stories I can get with those cameras.
Yeah, like you said, they open up. They open up.
Hold on for 1 second. I'm sorry. This truck is fast. Okay, sorry about that.
No worries. No, I just confirmed they just confirmed they open up, because
Okay,
the minimalist gear on the set, on the street, you use the smartphone, iPhone, and they're not afraid of speaking. They speak up, and they open up, right?
Huh?
Am I right?
Oh, I'll say that again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. I just confirmed what you did, what you said. Sorry, what you said. They speak up. They speak up the man with the small gear, smartphone, iPhone.
Yeah, no, I don't even have the small gears. Just coming straight off of the sound is just coming straight off of the mic off the iPhone.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I have no boom, I have no lavalier, I have nothing. My whole equipment is just my iPhone. That's all I use. I use the iPhone to shoot, edit, sound, and everything. Because like I'm saying, I don't, this guy, I'm glad you brought that up, because this guy did a critic on one of my movies, and I was kind of upset about it in the beginning, because he was saying, well, wow, he made this home movie and da 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 with an iPhone, da da da. And I didn't look at it as a home movie, but really the quality that I put into the documentary was really like a home movie. But what he did say great about the movie, he was like saying, wow, if you watch the documentary, you forget about the sound, you forget about the lighting, you forget about everything else. So he said the message was so strong in it that it didn't really even need lighting and sound. So I took that as a compliment, and I found this style, and I'm gonna continue just making documentaries off of an iPhone. I'm not going to even upgrade. I'm just going to keep it like this. I found my niche. It's going to be this. I've been to Hollywood. I know Hollywood boys. I can go get those big boys if they want me to, but it's not even about that.
And do you ask some help from friends, or do you ask some help from friends?
No, it's Skid Row Journey Production right now is just a one-man crew. And like I said, a lot of the times, I don't even plan to go out and shoot. I might just be somewhere and see a subject. Bam, that's it. I need that for me. I might be, boom, here, and I see somebody in a tent doing this and that. Boom. I did have one guy set up these guys for me in Austin, which is going to be, wow, some powerful footage coming up in my second episode of In Correspondence of Eric Protein Moseley. But mainly, I just walk up on these events, and it's just like, okay, I got to get this right here. And that's just it.
Yeah. Okay. What is your best experience? Maybe you have some anecdotes.
Was my best experience of what?
What is your best experience on set? And do you have some anecdotes?
I don't understand. I didn't understand that question.
What is your best experience on set? And do you have some anecdotes, maybe?
Oh, my best experience on set, like somebody I interviewed or something like that.
Yeah, could be like this. Yeah. Tell me, yeah.
The best experience I had on set was, ooh, wow, and I've been doing this for a lot of years. Was walking up on City Hall and seeing these two individuals who had the news cameras out there for them to protest about homelessness, and they were like fighting against each other, and they got arrested, went to jail, and all these different people having opinions about different things. And some of my best footage has come from right here in Austin, Texas. being on Skid Row, wow, that's good. I've been in New York, filming South Carolina, but being right here in Austin, Texas, I have captured some of the best footage I've ever captured.
Okay. And all right, can you make a living, or do you ask the crowdfunding?
Okay, so listen, right now, yes, you can make a living off of documentary filmmaking, but if you're don't try to be making a living when you first get into it. I'm gonna tell you that right. Well, that's anything. So, and to do that, you have to just get sponsors behind you. You have to know how to maneuver around the system and get people behind you and build. Number one, you're gonna have to build up an audience. You have to get people to like you. And instead of you going to them, you got to wait for people to come to you. And once they start coming to you, then that's when you start asking for those dollars. But don't start thinking you're going to start making money as soon as you get off into filmmaking. And then I used to always say this too: if you want to hide out from everybody in the world, just become a documentary filmmaker, and nobody will ever know who you are.
But did you? I was wondering, did you ask the crowdfunding? You know.
Oh, I don't have that, but you know what? I'm about to set all of that up, the crowdfunding and yeah, all of those. I just haven't really had time to do it because I don't know. I just haven't done it, but I am going to do that crowdfunding and see if I could get like some funding for. Maybe I could start right here on your show, right? And maybe the people in the UK can be like, "Hey, look, let's send this guy some money," and I could talk about your city, your town, because this is not my first time flirting with the UK. I've the Story Terrace, the book that I'm in is out of the UK. I did a couple of podcasts in the UK. I got an article coming out in the UK. So y'all people in the UK and everybody else, y'all help a brother out, you know?
Yeah, I'm currently in the UK, but I'm traveling. I'm traveling myself. I'm from France.
Oh, you from where?
France.
Oh, that's where you at now?
Yeah, I'm currently in the UK, but I'm from France.
Okay, so look, so we're gonna hit your homeboys up in the UK and in France, and all your cousins and sisters and everything. They're gonna say, you know what, this guy, all y'all send me $1, please.
You can start a campaign for the crowdfunding because it will be the first time, right?
Yeah, it'll be my first time.
Okay. So yeah.
So I want to do that.
Go.
You know, I just never asked for money because, you know, God gave me the opportunity to just roll these films out and stuff like that. But a little money wouldn't hurt, would it?
No, you just help. You just give. You know, there are a lot of examples. You know, you can get inspired from them, and
right.
There's different platforms, of course, and you have.
Yeah.
I don't know. From different reasons.
Yeah.
You can create a project. In your case, it will be a film documentary. So
yeah,
it can happen.
But and you know, and I do need that funding. But you know what? I have a funding, and it's straight from God. And somehow, you know what? It's weird because I don't really even have a job right now, and just God just takes care of me somehow. I don't understand what it is, you know. And then my films help me out, and I do acting and I do things like that. But God has been taking care of me, so he's been holding his part down, man, you know.
Yeah, sometimes you don't know, and sometimes you know things, but we all I know, we need to help each other, I think.
Yeah, we do need to help each other.
That's the idea.
And then here's the thing too, like if anybody did want to help like out in a film or whatever, what I would give them in return, they'll get a rolling credit on one of my documentaries. And so the sponsorship that they'll do of the film, you know, at the end of the movie, when they can see their name rolling up in all these different countries and all these different cities and states, that's bringing revenue and attention to your website. So, hey, let's do that too.
Mm. So you told me that you experienced some film festivals. Am I right?
Festivals?
Yeah, film festivals. Have you?
No, I've never been in a film festival ever in my life. How that happened was the first documentary that I did was it was called Skid Row Journey, and it was downtown Los Angeles. And the footage was I shot it on a high 8, so the footage was so grainy and it was cussing and it was really just super raw. So to make a long story short, it wasn't even eligible to make it to a documentary. I mean, to a film festival. So after I stepped my game up, the next film I came out with, it couldn't go to a documentary because it was already airing on PBS. So I just went from not being good enough to be in a film festival to them telling me, hey, look, your films are overqualified to be in a film festival. I'm not trying to brag or nothing. So to answer your question, I've never had a film in a film festival.
Okay, you should start.
Huh?
You should start.
Oh man, I came out with Skid Row Journey. That was a hit underground documentary. But like I said, it couldn't go to TV. And then for that, I said, okay, y'all won't let me in a film festival with this. All right, I'm gonna step my game up. I'm gonna be on broadcasting. And so that's where it happened. And so now if I submit my films to a film festival, they're like, hey, look, it's already being broadcast. It's already this. It's all, yeah. And it's like they saying like, you know, you can't submit that type of film.
Yeah, that's
I mean, I feel honored about it.
Sorry, say it again.
I feel honored about it, but yeah, I don't even know I've never been in a film festival. But listen, I'm glad you asked that because listen, I'm about to, and I'm breaking the news right here. I'm about to do my first feature film, and it's going to be a 3-minute film, and it's going to be, and I'm coming out the gate shooting it. So all you feature filmmakers, that's not doing documentaries, that's doing feature films, you guys better watch out because Eric Protein Moseley is about to step into the game to do feature films. And I'm starting off at the bottom and I'm going straight to the top as a feature filmmaker by the end of this year.
Yeah, you could keep doing. That's the idea, you know. It's always filmmaking, you know. That's great.
Yeah.
We talked about festivals, and I want to talk about the cinema in general, the future of cinema, technology nowadays. You use the iPhone. You know, everyone can buy a camera and can start make a film. Do you think it's the future of cinema or?
Yeah, and I'm not trying to promote Ron Howard, but Ron Howard has a video called Masterclass, and in his very first video, he lets people know, like, hey, look, yeah, I got all the money to buy this and get these cameras and have all this crew. He said, but you know what? You don't need all of that crew. You don't need, he said, what you capture at the end of the day through that lens is going to tell it or it's not. That little hole, how big the lens is, that right there is going to tell the story. You could buy $100 million camera, and that doesn't mean your movie is going to the movies. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean it's going to be a good movie because you use this super camera or whatever. And so it's not the camera. I'm not going to say it has nothing to do with the camera, but it's not the camera. It's the creativity you have, the creativity you put into it, and what you expect out of it. You know, so I wrote, in the year 2020, there was no other filmmakers out on the streets of Los Angeles, California. Skid Row Journey Production was the only production company out there, and we were out there with an iPhone filming. And so while everybody else was tucked in, we were out there. So it's not the camera, it's what you're willing to do and what you're willing to capture with that lens.
Yeah, I think it's your personal commitment, that your own signature, you know. It will
yes.
be I don't know, it will be your I don't know, your signature. I don't know.
Yes, you got to put your signature on it. And when I was living in Los Angeles, I would see all these kids going to USC and going to all these prestigious filmmaking schools, and then 4 or 5 years later, these kids don't even have a YouTube video up. You know what I'm saying? They haven't produced anything, and the stuff that they produced, it didn't go anywhere. So, that's what we talked about earlier, was about school. So school equipment and all of that, that's like second and third. You gotta come up with your own creativity. I don't care if you go to Walmart and get a $39 phone, start filming with it. They might come up with an app or something later that you could upgrade that video or whatever, but don't let you not having the equipment stop you from making your first hit film.
Yeah. Can you tell me about your Can you tell me about what do you think about the cinema in general? Maybe American cinema. I don't know.
Oh my God, that means Hollywood, and I don't want to down Hollywood or nothing, but Wow, I got to be careful how I'm saying this. I like the way they do things, and but I also like the way I do things. Uh, I'm just gonna leave it at that because I don't, I know a lot of people in Hollywood. You know what I'm saying, behind the scenes and in front of the scenes, and I'm not gonna down them or I'm not gonna say anything, but I don't like their style, and they don't really prefer to my style. But
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think different styles it's better. It's better to have,
different styles is better.
of course.
But for the people who don't have, if you have the money, go out and get it. But don't go and buy all this stuff and you don't have the qualifications of making a good film. Find out if you can make a good film with a cheap camera first. You might get the Blair Witch Project. I mean, I know people heard about that all around the world. These kids took this real cheap high-A camera and they made a movie. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And yeah, record your stuff, edit it, and get your directing skills, get your, whatever you do, get color correction. Learn all of that. You can learn all that off an iPhone. It doesn't just have to be an iPhone. I'm not repping for Apple or anything. This is just what I found. I mean, I guess you can get a Samsung or any of those other Google Pixel, any other type of camera that can do it, but don't let you not having that real big Hollywood camera stuff doing it. But as far as cinema in Hollywood, it's a lot of money in it if you have the patience to get out there and get it.
Mm-hmm. So if you have the opportunity to work with someone, who could it be?
If I could work with someone, it would probably be, I would say Tyler Perry. I would love to go to Atlanta and probably do a big production with him as far as, like a homeless movie, but then it's a documentary about the movie, about real life characters of people who are out on the streets and who have, did different things to make a social impact in Atlanta, and New Orleans and in the South and, things of that nature. So it would be Tyler Perry and my boy Master P. You know what I'm saying? Because that's my boy right there. And, this guy here, you guys heard of Master P over there, right?
Tyler Perry, yes, man. Master P, who is he?
Master P is a rapper, man, that came from New Orleans, man, and came from nothing and started his own, music company, started selling records out of the back of the trunk, and just became really the rap icon for all other rappers to follow his pattern. And he's got a little son named Lil Romeo. He be on TV and stuff like that. But yeah, you gotta look up Master P, man.
Okay, I will look at it. Okay, right. You give me the links and all good.
Yeah.
What do you wish? What do you wish in the short, mid, and long run?
What do I wish on what?
What do you wish in the short, mid, and long run?
Oh, short and long terms. Well, I'm not gonna wish, but I pray in short terms that this documentary, In Correspondence with Eric Protein Moseley, continues to air and possibly pick up the attention of A&E, even PBS, because I've been on them before, Netflix, or something of that nature. My longest goal is I'm trying to start a thing called Each One Teach One Infrastructure, where I'm out here in Austin, Texas, and I'm trying to start this thing called Each One Teach One Infrastructure, where I take the upper class homeless and give them the skills and training necessary to become a homeless outreach public safety worker for these major tech companies that are moving in here to Austin, so that that those individuals have an opportunity to be able to afford the market rate rent that's going on out here in Texas now.
Okay. And the long run, you tell me?
Oh yeah, the long run is I'm just trying to get that nonprofit organization up and running, trying to get my superhero I call Captain Negro. He's the very first superhero from the streets of South Central, which he was in the book. He's got a picture in the book of the unsung heroes, the 25 unsung heroes of COVID-19. And so I'm just trying to do my movies. I'm trying to, educate people. My main thing is to continue doing the social impact and the when I leave here, I don't want to be known in Hollywood like that. I want to be known like more so in DC and, you know, places like in the capital of Texas, right here in Austin, and around the nation, just with like political leaders.
Okay, all right. Do you have some tips for someone who's gonna start?
Someone who's going to start getting off into, okay, I'm glad you asked that, because this is going to be something. Quit your job, sell your car, buy you a van, move in the van, move somewhere like Los Angeles or New York, live in that van, don't work, and just work on your craft. Find you a place where you could eat, where you could take a shower, and just work on your craft. If you're not willing to do that, I'm not telling you that you shouldn't get in the game. But if you're willing to just have that 8-hour job and still do all the things you're doing and just think you're going to start a career and doing something, it is not going to work. It's going to take you longer. Stop doing everything you're doing and don't stop with God, with your higher power. But anything other than that, that should become secondary, and work on your craft 8-9 hours a day.
All good. You're it's perfect. Okay. Which movie or series did grab your attention lately?
Okay, my favorite movie of all times is a movie called Coolie High, which is by director Michael Schultz. My second movie would be The Temptations. That was about the group of the Temptations, where that came up out of Motown Records. Third one would be it was another movie called The Education of Sonny Carson. And those are my 3 top movies. And they're all about Black people who have came up in different scenarios. Some of them were good, some stories were bad, but it was like, you know, I like real life stories about things that like taking place in the communities where I grew up at.
Yeah, I like the idea, you know, because there's a word in English, misfit, or maverick sometimes. You don't do the usual stuff like the common people do. You just follow your instinct, your intuition. So that's what.
Yeah. Well, you know, I always considered myself growing up as a misfit. That's a whole different story. But yeah, you can't just you know, like I say, I wasn't cut out for this. I was cut into it. So it was like, you know, I had to do what I do, you know, and yeah, it's just, it is what it is, you know. Okay, so yeah, I'm in a better now, and the guy's gone now. So
hopefully, I think he's gone for the lunch or something.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, he needs to be gone. Eric Protein Moseley, from the ground up, and it's to educate about the powers of the Almighty through one man's journey of trials and tribulation. It's on Amazon. It's only $2.99 for the download of the ebook. It's called that's my documentary. It's called Eric Protein Moseley, From the Ground Up. It tells my whole life story. Mm-hmm. Oh no, that's just it. I just want to tell everybody, keep your head up. I know, you know, we have a little bit of disturbing news coming, like the coronavirus might be coming back, but you know what? If we beat it the first time, we're gonna beat it again, and just stay positive.